going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal SpazPhoenix, the YWC Reality Check. Meant to do this video days ago. This has been sitting on my dresser for a good couple of days since Raw, really. So some of the stuff that I have here is even out of date. So if I stutter, if I botch, it's because I'm kind of editing as we go on the fly. But let's see where we are as far as the road to WrestleMania. The next bump in the road is the Elimination Chamber. Now, what are we going to see at the Elimination Chamber? First of all, SmackDown has a #1 Contenders Elimination Chamber match, which means the title match is going to be some singles piece of shit, probably between the Big Show and Alberto Del Rio. Again, Raw, I don't know what Raw is going to do as far as an Elimination Chamber match, because the title match is going to be one-on-one, and the #1 contender for that title has already been established for WrestleMania. So, what I am predicting is the three guys that really have to just kill time until WrestleMania, being Sheamus, John Cena, and Ryback, are going to take on the Shield in Elimination Chamber. And if people are going to ask me why or how they're going to do that, if you have ever played any of the SmackDown vs. Raw games or WWE 12 or 13, you'll know in the game, you can play the Elimination Chamber the way we see it on TV, or you can have a 3-on-3 match in the chamber where various members of various teams are released at specific times. Now, if you see Cena, Sheamus, and Ryback versus Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns in a match of that type, it could be good. It could be really good. It could give them a chance to shine, not only in a brutal structure, not only in a very marquee match, because people do look forward to the Elimination Chamber matches, but also against people that are very, very highly regarded in the company. You've got Cena, Ginger John Cena, and roided up Cena. Problem with that being is that the Shield really doesn't have any direction after that, because Cena moves on to The Rock at WrestleMania. Sheamus, I'm calling it now. This thing with Barrett and Bo Dallas isn't going to last very long. When we get to WrestleMania, they're going to push Sheamus and Barrett again. That's my prediction. And there's rumblings we're going to see Ryback versus the Big Show. Yay. So what does the Shield do at WrestleMania? I really don't have an answer other than maybe put another three-man team together, Del Rio, Sin Cara, Mysterio versus the Shield at WrestleMania. Have them involved with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman in some capacity. Short term, they're pushing the Shield as a group that needs to be feared, but they're not pushing them as a group that can actually go in matches other than their TLC match. What matches have they had other than Seth Rollins going back to NXT to lose his title to Big E Langston? Shield is in a really, really weird spot. Cena, we know where he's going. Sheamus, I have a prediction where he's going. Ryback, there's rumors as to where he's going. Shield, they're a great bunch of guys, and if they are not on the WrestleMania, I can speak, I swear, card, it'll be criminal. For the amount of like part-timers that are going to be taking part in WrestleMania this year, it'll be criminal if three of the most promising new guys in the company aren't on the card. That's what I'm saying. Let's talk about Ziggler. Let's talk about Ziggler and his Money in the Bank. Everybody wants Ziggler to cash in. Nobody, well, I didn't anyway, want him to cash in while Sheamus or Big Show had the title, because I don't care about Sheamus or the Big Show, and Ziggler would have been made to job to either one of them. Now we have a very interesting scenario where he could cash in on Alberto Del Rio, and if anybody doubts how great those matches could be, go look back at last night's SmackDown. Last night's SmackDown, if given more time and no commercial breaks, is a match I wouldn't mind seeing at WrestleMania. But we come to another interesting point in the story, because Jericho is back. Jericho's back. He's going to feud with Ziggler some more. But as much as I love that feud, and I do, and it's great that they left, Ziggler was the one that was responsible for him being fired. He came back and they've continued that story. I love that, and I think Ziggler's getting an amazing rub from Jericho, and that is fantastic. But it's just another reason to postpone him cashing in Money in the Bank, and Ziggler needs to be champion eventually. If we are going down the road to unifying the belts, why not have CM Punk versus Jericho, or versus Ziggler rather, sorry guys, to unify those belts? Couldn't think of a better match, really, unless it was Daniel Bryan, and that's just not happening because he's trapped in a piece of shit known as Team Hell No. Now, here's the question. Where is the big confrontation between Ziggler and Jericho going to happen? Are they both going to be in the Elimination Chamber and have their match be among 4 other guys? Are they going to have a one-on-one match at the Chamber? In which case, we're really running out of people to put in SmackDown's Chamber. I mean, I think they're thinking about putting the Great Khali in there, which is useless. Or are we going to play this out right till WrestleMania, which it deserves to happen, but if we push back the cashing in of the Money in the Bank any longer, nobody's going to care. I would love to see Jericho, Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. Hell, throw in The Miz, make it a fatal 4-way. When was the last time we saw a fatal 4-way at Mania? But they need to get on. As much as Ziggler is doing all these other great things because he is that dynamic and that flexible, he needs to have his own moment. He needs to have his own accomplishment in the World Heavyweight title, even if it means him taking a break from making everybody else look great as he does. Alberto Del Rio, the other side of the coin, while Ziggler goes and deals with Jericho, they're going to drag out Big Show versus Alberto Del Rio longer and longer and longer. Originally, I had thought that they were going to be 2 of the 6 members of a championship chamber, but as the chamber is going to be a number 1 contenders match, not a title match, you know, Alberto Del Rio and Big Show are probably not going to be in there. They're probably going to have another one-on-one match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which will be a street fight or a last man standing again, or a Iron Man or something like that, which Big Show just doesn't deserve to be in, because all he's done since Alberto Del Rio became champion, all he's done is beat up Ricardo Rodriguez. And I'm sorry, beating up an announcer, I don't care whether it's Rodriguez, whether it's Lillian Garcia, whether it's Josh friggin' Matthews, does not get you a number 1 contendership repetitively for a world title. Fuck off, Big Show. Ziggler is waiting in the wings. We have great things coming. Move your big ass out of the way. Enough said. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara, they returned to WWE in the Royal Rumble match with not very much fanfare, if I'm completely honest. I'm not the hugest fan of Sin Cara, although I find him entertaining in the ring, and my opinion, as you guys know, of Rey Mysterio goes up and down with the tide. But they are both talented guys, and if they are going to go with this team that they've formulated that doesn't even have a team name yet, which is kind of sad, they need to really solidify their role as a tag team. They need to either become the tag team champions, join up with Alberto Del Rio and take on the Shield at Mania, like I mentioned earlier, for taking them out, or they need to fight each other, even if it's a match out of respect. Even if they play it up as, you know, we're the 2 best luchadors in wrestling and let's find out which one of us is the better man, have a respect match at WrestleMania, do something. Win the tag belts, become part of a larger match, or have a match between yourselves. There's so many different venues or options available to these 2 guys now that they are back, that the fact that they haven't really moved on any of them is really, really frustrating as a fan, especially a fan as I am, where I'm not ridiculously high on either guy. So I really hope they move forward sometime soon. Also, speaking of the tag team division, Hell No retained at the Royal Rumble, which was bullshit. And they've disbanded Team Road Scholars, which was the logical next contenders. Why? Why? I know I complained about the mashed up tag teams, but at least Road Scholars was one that was making a good go of it. And what do we have instead? We got the primetime players waiting in the wings that are never going to be made to look as great as they should be. Same thing goes for the Usos. Gabriel and Kid, they can't because Gabriel's injured. So what's the next team they've put together? Anybody that saw main event this week, I hope you vomited as much as I did with this new team of Tensai and Brodus Clay. Ladies and gentlemen, I will vomit on this entire division if the ones that take the tag team championships off Team Hell No are these 2 dinosaur goofballs. Because, I mean, they've been taken out, they should have been taken out by Road Scholars. If they're taken out by Rey and Sin Cara, no problem. If they're taken out by primetime players who are actually in the WWE as a legitimate team, same thing goes for the Usos. That would be prime, pun intended, for the tag team division to have an actual tag team holding the belts. But if these guys, Jesus Christ, like, I'm an okay fan of Zack Ryder, you guys know this, but Santino and Zack Ryder was bad enough. No. You got a team that started with, you know, Alberto Del Rio's bodyguard getting a personality makeover, and Tensai, who was supposed to be this big Japanese monster, coming out in ladies' underwear and dancing. Really? And these, you know what, the childish direction WWE is going right now, these guys probably will be the tag team champions. And, you know, anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that I've already started the hashtag no hope for the division. No hope for the division because so much bad. Just so much bad. That's all I got. Now, everything else revolves around Heyman, Punk, Lesnar, The Shield, etc. So, I'm not really going to express any particular opinions on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a bunch of questions at you guys. And I want you guys to answer them in the box below because these are just conversational points. These are just conversational points designed to get a conversation started down in that box below. When will we see this Heyman team together? When will we see them come out to the ring in force with a mission statement? When will we see Paul Heyman, like the Pied Piper down to the ring, lead Punk, Lesnar, The Shield, and Brad Maddox to the ring as a force to address the WWE Universe? Will there be, at the Elimination Chamber or at, say, WrestleMania or at a pay-per-view after WrestleMania, a collection of people that unifies to take on these 6 guys? Like, when we had the big elimination match between Team Nexus and Team WWE, will we have an entire amalgamation of talent come in mass to take on these guys as a whole? If so, when do you think it'll happen? Who do you think it'll be? One of them will obviously be John Cena, but whatever. Will Team Punk, or Team Heyman, whatever you want to call it, fuck over The Rock at the Elimination Chamber? Not very likely, considering we are pushing towards Cena Rock 2. But if they do get involved, who will get involved? How do you think they will get involved? Do you think they will get involved? Will The Shield ever break off? Okay, there's a 2-part question here. Will they break away from Paul Heyman and CM Punk anytime soon? And will they, as a group, go off and have individual careers? If so, when? And if so, how do you think they will do it? Will we see a unification of CM Punk and Brock Lesnar under the tutelage of Paul Heyman, or will there be infighting? Will we eventually see CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar? What do you think will happen? What do you think? What would you like to happen? Which option would you choose if you were WWE creative? And will CM Punk change his focus from the WWE Championship to going after Taker and the streak at WrestleMania, considering the rumor that Undertaker may not be physically fit to participate in this year's Royal Rumble? If so, they're going to have to do some rewriting, some creative tap dancing real quick to find CM Punk something else to do at WrestleMania now that they've taken the belt away from him. They may have written themselves into a corner with CM Punk if Undertaker's not available to participate in this year's WrestleMania. And finally, we see it with Punk, and we saw it on Raw this past week with Lesnar as well. Has Paul Heyman lost control of the group that he's creating? And when will it come back to bite him in the ass, seeing as Vince McMahon technically didn't get to fire him this week? Bunch of questions, bunch of answers I hope I get from you guys. Start a conversation with me, start a conversation with each other. Fill up the box below. Anyways, I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.